A weekend as jam-packed with wrestling as any the mainstream American industry has seen in years kicks off Saturday with NXT's Great American Bash, the latest premium live event from WWE's developmental brand. 3 championships are on the line. Newcomer Jasper Troy is set to burst onto the scene against Javon Evans, and Blake Monroe makes her NXT debut in tag team action alongside Jordan Grace against NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne and her. I apologize here.
Fallon Henley.
Yep, I'm saying yes, Fallon Henley. I was looking at my notes here, Bullock. That's what I was doing there. My notes went a little kerplooey. I'm sorry to say, but yes, against NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne and her Fatal Influence teammate Fallon Henley. There we go. Hey there, welcome everybody to this special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN. I am your host Anthony Florio, joined by the phenom Michael Bullock. We are awaiting the presence of good old MF Michael Fletcher. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. Huge wrestling weekend, loaded wrestling weekend. Saturday, you have NXT's Great American Bash. You also have AEW All In. And on top of that, you're going to have Saturday night's main event. 3 shows in one day, including 2 at the exact same time in NXT's Great American Bash and AEW's All In. And if that wasn't loaded enough, Sunday night, we've got the WWE Evolution pay-per-view. All Women's Evolution pay-per-view. We're going to get into all of that. So with that being said, let's get into our first match of the evening, or should I say the afternoon. NXT Women's North American Championship on the line. The champion, Sol Ruca, defending against Izzy Dame of the Culling. You have to imagine that Zarya will be in Sol Ruca's corner as always. And you would also have to imagine that Tatum Paxley and or the Culling will be in the corner of Izzy Dame. So, okay. While Ruca and Dame will battle for the NXT Women's North American Championship in singles action, we cannot ignore the influence of both women's expected ringside associates. In Sol Ruca's corner is Zarya, whose power has been a source of both respect and fear in the NXT women's locker room. Dame is backed by Tatum Paxley, whose loyalty earned Dame this title opportunity in the first place, as she helped Izzy Dame pin Sol Ruca in a tag team match on the July 1st episode of NXT. Paxley, however loyal, is undoubtedly unhinged. This unpredictability makes her a wild card for Saturday's match. No stipulations banning either Zarya or Paxley from ringside have been announced as of right now. And as the days tick down to Atlanta, the likelihood of ringside interference in this Women's North American Championship bout only grows. Despite their recent tag team loss, Ruca and Zarya have otherwise curtailed Dame and Paxley's every attempt at ringside interference, and are often seen hauling either Dame or Paxley away from the apron during pivotal match moments. Saturday will test Dame's ambition, Ruca's resilience, and the strength between both women and their associated partners. Anything can happen when the bell rings in Atlanta. But the only thing I can say is, when it comes to this pick, I got no doubt about this one. I got to go with Sol Ruca. I think Sol Ruca successfully defends the Women's North American Championship. But would I be surprised if Izzy Dame were to steal the title? No, I wouldn't. And it would be because of the Culling, of course. So, but for right now, I have to go with the winner and still the NXT Women's North American Champion, Sol Ruca. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, we kicked this all off with Sol Ruca and Izzy Dame for the Women's North American Championship. I got Sol Ruca retaining. What says you?
Yeah, I got Sol Ruca retaining as well. Because, I mean, and like you even said, the only way I see Izzy Dame winning the title is if the Culling has any say in it. So, but I'm with you, winner and still Women's North American Champion Sol Ruka, and like you said, and the thing is, Florio, that's not the only time we're going to see Sol Ruka. We'll get into it later on when it comes to Evolution because they're going to have a say in the pay per view.
Indeed, they will. So keep your mic on, Bullock. You're leading off on the next match. That is until MF shows up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we got Javon Evans squaring off against Jasper Troy. This one can literally go either way, but who do you got?
Yeah, this could go either way, no doubt about it. But I gotta go. I gotta go with Jasper Troy here. I mean, I'm so high on this guy. I mean, ever since he won that LFG season 1, and he gave Obafemi a run for his money. So I think there's a lot of good things. I mean, Javon Evans will definitely give him a run for his money, but I think at the end of the day, I think it's Jasper Troy who comes out the winner. It's yours, Florio.
It literally can go either way. It really can. With Jasper Troy making his NXT Premium Live Event debut, some feel that WWE would want him to emerge out of it looking strong, specifically with a win. Also, coming off a recent loss to NXT champion Obafemi, a victory would additionally put momentum back into his favor and potentially on track for another title shot down the line. After all, Troy won the inaugural season of WWE LFG, which means he should be positioned to be a future legend and great at some point. What I can't overlook, however, is Javon Evans' premium live event record. Since arriving to NXT last year, Evans has competed at 4 PLEs, and his record in those 4 PLEs, 0-4. 2 of those losses in his most recent came with the NXT Championship on the line. Another pitted him against 4 other competitors in an Iron Survivor match last December, a deadline. And the last saw him fall to then NXT champion Ethan Page in a singles match with no added stipulations. For a young and bouncy talent that has already been granted a solo bout against future Hall of Famer Randy Orton, I expected Evans to have obtained some sort of success at PLEs by now. Unfortunately, that has yet to happen, which is why I think it's time for Evans to finally pick up some legitimate steam. And what better way to do that than by overcoming a powerhouse that WWE and several Hall of Famers have deemed as a future great. So I'm actually going to go with Javon Evans to win this match. But would I be surprised if Jasper Troy won this? No, certainly not. I watched LFG Season 1 religiously, and that young man impressed me every time I saw him. And you could tell how happy Booker T was because that's his guy. So, but for right now, I got to go with Javon Evans. But you never know, Troy could get it. So we'll see. All right. Okay, now here's another one that can literally go either way. NXT North American Championship on the line. The champion, All Ego Ethan Page, defending against Ricky Saints in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Okay. For months, Ethan Page and Ricky Saints have been at each other's throats, quite literally considering Page put Saints on the shelf for a couple of weeks after taking the title away from him back on the May 27th episode of NXT. And they will be looking to finally settle their differences in a bout where the rules are thrown out the window and they get to finish things wherever they want in the arena. Unlike some of the other matches on this card, it's very tough to think about it. This literally, like I said, can go either way. It really, really can. And I'm torn as to who I think is going to get this. It didn't really seem like Saints got a fair shot with the title the first time he held it, holding it for less than 2 months. And while he did defend it against Ethan Page at Stand and Deliver, that ultimately acted as the first of a 3-part series that will end on Saturday. But the real thing to consider is one of these guys is almost certainly getting called up to the main roster. The safest bet for that would be on Ethan Page, as he has done almost everything there is to do in NXT since debuting on the brand in May of last year, and a call up to the main roster has surely got to be in his future. There are rumors and rumblings that he could potentially have something to do with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman's new group. The problem is those same rumors have applied to Ricky Saints as well, and he doesn't really need to be in NXT for much longer. Would it be nice to see him win more gold? Of course it would. But even the fans who have followed him since his AEW days know that he is destined for things far beyond the confines of the WWE Performance Center. And a call up could only really be possible if he loses to Ethan Page. Overall, you can make the case for both guys to win and lose, as I don't think either of them are going to be sticking around in NXT for much longer. In this match, your guess is as good as mine and as good as Bullock's. So in this instance, this is like a proverbial coin flip here. I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to go with Ricky Saints to win the title. I think Ricky Saints will regain the North American Championship, but I certainly would not be surprised if Ethan Page were to somehow retain. If he were to retain, it would be probably because of those ham and egg jabronis, and those pretty boys known as the Vanity Project. So, which he's taken under his wing. Oh, by the way, so for right now, I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to go with Ricky Saints to become the new NXT North American Champion. So, not much more to say. Bullock, out of all the matches on this card, this is easily the toughest. But flip of the coin, I'm going to say Ricky Saints wins the title. But don't be surprised if Ethan retains.
Yeah, especially because of the Vanity Project. Is that the name of the team, Florio? Am I correct on that?
Yes, the Vanity Project. Yes.
And who do they remind you of?
Oh my God, they remind me a lot of, in a sense, a little bit of some Pretty Deadly, but I know there's more to it.
Oh, how about the guys that used to be what was that? Matt Menard and Angelo Parker.
Oh God, Everrise. Ugh.
Everrise. Oh, remember when we used to have fun with that? I could have a little fun when you say, "It's your new favorite boys, the Vanity Project."
Oh please. No thanks.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that. So, but I'm with you, Florio. I'm going to go with Ricky Saints. I mean, because I think Ethan Page is more due for a call up. I mean, he's done everything in NXT. I mean, I know Ricky Saints should be up there too, but I think he needs a little more seasoning down in NXT before he's main roster ready. So to me, the winner and new North American champion Ricky Saints. So let's move on to the next matchup.
There is actually one member of Vanity Project that I am actually a little bit high on, and that is the Evolve champion, Jackson Drake. But the other two guys, forget it. So
nothing more than a bunch of pretty boy ham and egger douchebags.
Mm-hmm. You know it. Okay. All kidding aside, let's move on to our next match. Tag team action. We got the debuting, making her NXT debut, Blake Monroe and her partner Jordan Grace, and they will square off against the NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley. Like a Bullock, I think there's only one logical outcome for this one.
Yeah, for me, it's got to be Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe because this is going to be her first official match on NXT. I mean, in an NXT ring. There's no way you have her lose in her debut. I mean, that would be absolutely stupid if they do that. I mean, so to me, it's got to be Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe to win. So there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
It's Blake and Jordan, and let's also not forget this match could also serve as a momentum boost for Jordan Grace before Jordan Grace challenges Jacy Jayne for that NXT Women's Championship as part of Evolution on Sunday night.
And not just momentum, but also another thing that you and I that you always like to say, booking 101. Because if Jordan Grace goes over, then I think
There's a good chance Jacy retains.
That means Jacy retains. I mean,
but if it's the other way around, then there's a good chance Jordan wins the title.
Yeah, But we'll give you our prediction when
And
we
there's
talk
more
about
to it.
Evolution,
And there's also future plans that and it's also going to factor into
especially
a big time,
Slammiversary.
future match come Slammiversary, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But nonetheless, Blake Monroe, WWE NXT's hottest debutante, and Jordan Grace, the number one contender for JC Jane's women's title, have everything to prove as they are set to take on Fallon Henley and JC Jane at the Great American Bash. Grace and Monroe are an unconventional pair, but their common enemy in Fatal Influence has been the foundation of their Great American Bash alliance. Monroe arrived at NXT by interrupting a Fatal Influence segment, and NXT's newest addition continued to clash with the faction as Monroe's NXT contract signing turned into a full 3-on-1 brawl, with Fatal Influence's numbers ultimately overwhelming Monroe. Grace is on similarly poor terms with Fatal Influence as stable leader Jane holds the women's championship, a title that Grace has been gunning for ever since her own NXT debut. With Monroe's decorated interpromotion resume and Grace's strong NXT performances, the pair will be hard to beat Saturday. Despite Grace and Monroe's strong background, Jane and Henley are not to be underestimated. Jane dethroned the wildly popular Stephanie Vacour for the women's championship back on May 27th. And Henley is known for a 111-day reign as the women's North American champion. And they will also very likely will be accompanied by Jasmine Nix, who will undoubtedly run ringside interference. Fatal Influence may not even have to sweat for their victory, as a rumored team implosion and heel turn between Grace and Monroe may jeopardize the opposition's chances. So Grace and Monroe win this match. I mean, until the pinfall or submission is counted, however, there is simply no telling where the wind will blow at the Great American Bash. But I am most certainly going with Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace to win this match. And I believe we have one last match on the card here. The NXT Championship on the line. The champion Obafemi defending against Yoshiki Inamura. Many have tried, but all have failed to dethrone Obafemi in his reign as NXT champion. At the Great American Bash, I strongly believe that trend will continue when Femi defends his NXT championship against Yoshiki Inamura, a star brought over to NXT as part of WWE's partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah. Weeks ago, Inamura pinned TNA heavyweight champion and former NXT champion in his own right, Trick Williams, in a 6-man tag team match, and in doing so, put his name in orbit of Williams' title. In a surprising move, Inamura bestowed a TNA title opportunity to his tag team partner, Josh Briggs. Meanwhile, Inamura opted to pursue the NXT championship, with the vision of him and Briggs holding their respective titles side by side. Briggs fell short in his quest for the TNA championship. In fact, he and Inamura have both fallen short when it matters the most. Together, Briggs and Inamura have already lost 2 televised tag team title opportunities dating back to NXT Vengeance Day. Shortly after Inamura suffered defeat to Ivar in a WWE Speed Championship Tournament semi-final bout that lasted merely 2 minutes and 22 seconds, and I'm supposed to reasonably believe that, or I should say we are supposed to reasonably believe that he could go the distance with Obafemi, a man who has not sustained a singles loss since last October? Don't get me wrong, Inamura has been a pleasure to watch during his time on NXT television. He even impressed us with his number one contender's victory over Jasper Troy. Femi, however, has been virtually unstoppable, even with taped ribs since arriving to NXT in the 2023 Men's Breakout Tournament. Easiest match to call right here. Winner and still the NXT champion, the ruler, Oba Femi. Not much more to say. Bullock, take this NXT thing home, and then we'll get into Evolution.
Who? It's Obafemi. No doubt about it. This is definitely the easiest call of the night. So with that being said, let's get into Evolution, the second Evolution event. Of course, the first one back in 2018. Can this one
Yes,
top
indeed.
the first one? We'll find out.
It's got potential. I think it's got potential. So,
Especially with
and
this
by the
being
way,
run by, especially with this being run by Paul Triple H Levesque.
yeah, not that Dinkelberg before him. So, but forgot to mention, if you're looking for NXT Great American Bash, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people within the IWC are going to be very torn. Are they going to want to do NXT Great American Bash, or are they going to want to do AEW All In? Because remember, they both air at the same time, 3 p.m. Saturday afternoon, and NXT Great American Bash will emanate from the center stage in Atlanta, Georgia, where the old school WCW Saturday Night, where that used to be taped for many years. So we shall see what happens with that. And now we move on to WWE Evolution for only the second time in history. We've got we will have an all-woman pay-per-view. We all remember it. It was October 2018, Nassau Coliseum, Long Island, New York. The first ever Evolution took place. Headlined, yes, Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella may have main evented it, but Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, they stole the dang show in that last woman standing match. Keep in mind, they may add more. We don't know, but we're just gonna go with what we have, and that is that. So, if any more matches get added, well, we'll figure it out. But
Yeah, because we still got SmackDown tomorrow night. So who knows? Maybe more will
and
be
Saturday
added.
night's main event.
Yeah, so
And let's
maybe
also
more
not
will
forget,
be added.
yes. So because we have SmackDown tomorrow night in Nashville, and we also, of course, have Saturday night's main event that will round out that loaded day of wrestling on Saturday. All right, let's get into this now. WWE Evolution live from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, this Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Of course, you can watch the NXT Great American Bash at 3 p.m. on Saturday, also on Peacock, and this will be on Peacock as well. So 7 p.m. Sunday night, WWE Evolution, and here we go. Um, there's a certain match I'm going to save for the main event. Well, I'll save the two big titles for the main event spots. So with that, I'm just gonna go in the order I have it. So we'll start it off with the aforementioned match for the NXT Women's Championship. JC Jane defending against Jordan Grace. I got to be honest, I was a little surprised at a number of times that the belt did or didn't change hands over the last year. So I'm going to assume. Jordan. There is a good chance Jordan does win the title here. There's always a chance Jordan wins the title because she's come so close so many times. In part to Blake Monroe, helping her to offset Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix. That way, there's an historic title change. And Jane gets to be a champion in the transitional phase, so Grace didn't beat Stephanie Vacour. Monroe can feud with Jane and Fatal Influence after this without the title, while Grace can have her run and move up to the main roster at some point in 2026. And it basically checks off all the boxes. Blake Monroe will either be the one who beats Grace or the one who beats the one who takes the title off of Grace. And let's also not forget, we also have a huge match coming up at Slammiversary where TNA Knockouts champion Masha Slamovich will be defending and will be squaring off against either JC Jane or Jordan Grace, and both the NXT Women's Championship and the TNA Knockouts Championship, title for title, winner takes all. So my gut does tell me to go with Jordan Grace, but I don't know why. I just have this sinking feeling that Fallon Henley is going to, or I should say, JC Jane is going to find a way to win this thing. Because, they want to say, a lot of people are going to say, oh, she's a beatable champion, easy champion to beat. I got this feeling that they might want to have her prove us wrong for a little longer, and that Blake Monroe could ultimately be the one to dethrone her. I don't know, but like I said, the gut tells me to go with Jordan to win the title, but I got to go with my head on this one. I got to go with my hunch here. My hunch is telling me that JC's going to find a way, and they're going to steal this for her. So I'm gonna take a chance. Another coin flip of the coin. Still NXT Women's Champion JC Jane. Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I'm with you, Florio. I'm gonna go with JC Jane to retain the title because Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix are gonna have a say in this and make. Look, I really want to see Jordan Grace win the title. Because she's come so close, but you know what Fatal Influence will say to Jordan: you can't win the big one. You haven't done it lately, and you won't now. So, and unfortunately, they're going to be proven right. So, to me, I'm going with JC Jane to retain, and then she will go into Slammiversary to face Masha Slamovich for where it's title for title, winner take all. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on to the next match.
All right. We're gonna move on to the battle royal. We have a battle royal for a championship match at WWE Clash in Paris, and the announced participants are as follows, in no particular order: Stephanie Vacour, Ivy Nile, Nia Jax, Nikki Bella, Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Kalani Jordan, Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Lash Legend, Izzy Dame, Tatum Paxley, Zelina Vega, Women's United States Champion Julia, and Candice LeRae. There could be more, but as of right now, those are the confirmed participants for this women's battle royale. The winner getting a championship opportunity at the Clash in Paris at the end of next month. So, with all that being said, Michael Bullock, you heard the names. Could be more added. You never know. But for right now, based off the confirmed list I just gave you, who do you got?
Boy, these battle royals are always tough to predict.
Amen. Yeah.
It could be any of the big names. But then again, they could surprise us with an upset. But oh man, this is tough. I'm actually going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Stephanie Vacour to win this battle royal. I know I want to see an NXT person win it, and think about it too, Florio. If an NXT person, an NXT woman won it, they'd be going to Clash in Paris for the NXT women's title.
That would be huge.
Could you imagine that?
How huge would that be for NXT?
That'd be huge, but as much as I want to see it happen, I think it's going to be a Raw or a SmackDown woman, and I'm going to go with Stephanie Vacour. So it's yours, Florio.
Stephanie Vacour. I agree. She's my top pick to win, regardless of who else gets announced. This will primarily be the means for everyone else to get on the card, the classic get everybody on the card match, of course, which will feature 6 talents from NXT, maybe some women from Evolve, LFG, some legends, I don't know. But you got Ivy Nile in there. There's always a chance they could add like Michin or B-Fab to the list, but Vacour, one of the biggest names, if not the absolute most important of the bunch. Until someone else on her level gets announced, you got to go with Stephanie Vacour. So Stephanie Vacour, I agree with you, Bullock. You got this one right. That she will win this battle royale and will earn the championship opportunity in Paris at the end of next month. Fatal 4-way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The champions, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, defending against SmackDown's Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. NXT's um, Tatum Paxley, or should I say Sol Ruca and Zarya, and last but not least, the reunited Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. There's nothing left there. I got this is tough. I mean, this literally can go either way. But I'm sorry, Bullock, but I gotta rule out Zarya and Sol Ruca. I don't see them winning this. Rodriguez and Perez, it's a reluctant partnership. Raquel obviously wants nothing to do with Roxanne because of Liv Morgan, obviously. Her loyalty to Liv Morgan as of right now. A great way to play into this would be for them to lose the titles. And I just got this feeling about Alexa and Charlotte. I don't know why, but I'm thinking Alexa and Charlotte could end up stealing the titles, and then we'll see where their little partnership goes. Because remember, that's a reluctant partnership too. I mean, Charlotte doesn't really like Alexa, and vice versa, but I got this feeling they might win the titles here. But also keep an eye out for Asuka and Kairi as well, because they're former champions in their own right. But I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Alexa and Charlotte to win the titles. So, not much more to say here. So, Bullock, what are your thoughts on this fatal 4-way for the women's tag team titles?
I'm actually going to go with the Kabuki Warriors to become the new women's tag team champions. I ruled out Zarya and Sol Ruca. I mean, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. There's some reluctancy. Well, mostly from Charlotte, because we all know about her. She only cares about one person, and that's herself. I mean, and then of course the whole thing with Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne. I mean, and I've said this before, Florio. Raquel doesn't trust Roxanne for 1 minute because of the whole Liv Morgan thing, especially going back to Monday night when Roxanne held a vigil when all it was is that Liv Morgan was injured. And you saw the look on Raquel's face.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't think she's trust her, and I think their miscommunication is gonna cost them. So I'm gonna go with the Kabuki Warriors to become the new women's tag team champions.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to transpose the order of these next two matches because I see a triple main event out of this, and so we're going to move on to the no holds barred match: Jade Cargill versus Miss Money in the Bank Naomi. Michael Bullock, who do you got?
Yeah, with this being no holds barred, you know Naomi's going to do anything she can to win this match. So, and let's not forget, I mean, WrestleMania, Jade Cargill got the best of Naomi, so I think it's time for Naomi to get a win back, and she's going to take advantage of the no holds barred rules. So, the winner of the match will be Naomi. It's yours, Florio.
I mean, this is a tough one. I mean, you can definitely make the case for Naomi. I mean,
well, and here's another reason why. I mean,
the Money in the Bank.
How bad would it look? I mean, your Miss Money in the Bank winner loses a match. It would make her look like a total fool. I mean,
they've done this before. They've done this before with past Money in the Bank winners. They made them look like doofuses, and then eventually they went on to win the title. So
yeah, I mean,
I've seen it done many times.
I know, but
here's the thing
momentum of Naomi, and especially with her being Miss Money in the Bank, I just don't. And let's not. And like I just mentioned for you, Jade Cargill already got one up on her at WrestleMania.
Then it has to be Naomi to even the score.
Exactly.
Naomi loses this, which helps explain why she doesn't cash in her Money in the Bank. Or does Naomi lose this, yet still cashes in Money in the Bank and steals it from Tiffany Stratton, or even Trish, to set up another match against Jade Cargill at SummerSlam? I mean, I could see it being Jade against Tiffany and Naomi will be a factor afterward. But, we'll have to wait and see. But Jade Cargill got the win at WrestleMania. Naomi should win this to even the score. I'm gonna go with Naomi to win. But if Jade Cargill were to actually win this, I would not at all be surprised. I wouldn't. All right, we got 3 huge championship main event caliber matches here. And we're going to start it off with the triple threat match. For the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, the champion Becky Lynch defending against both Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I had thought that there was a chance Bayley would take the title off of Becky and then maybe drop it to Roxanne Perez. But now I'm leaning more towards Becky retaining and eventually maybe at SummerSlam or Clash at Paris drops it to Stephanie Vacour possibly. Bayley and Lyra will get in each other's ways, and Becky Lynch will capitalize. So the winner and still the Women's Intercontinental Champion, it's gonna have to be Becky Lynch. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch to retain, and I think she's gonna take advantage of the friendship falling apart between Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, because remember that promo from Monday Night for you where
Yes.
where Lyra Valkyria said, you know what, Becky's right about one thing about you, Bayley. All you care about is titles.
Yeah.
And as soon as she said that, I'm like thinking, yep, that friendship is gone.
Well, we'll see.
And Lyra, it's almost like Lyra's now basically saying, you know what? I'm now starting to learn something. Don't trust your friends.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this new attitude of Lyra. And
which I'm loving. And
I think we're all loving it.
And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to eventually turn her heel down the line. And if they do, I think a heel turn would do wonders for her. I do.
Well, let's not forget what good old
MF said on Monday night.
Yeah, let's not.
He doesn't see it just yet, and I agree.
Yeah,
I said eventually.
I mean, it's going to happen eventually, but I don't see
Not
it
just
happening
yet.
right away.
Not just yet.
Yeah, I mean, give her some more time, and then when the time is right, then turn her heel. But right now, I think WWE needs to hold off on that.
I agree. I do agree.
Yeah. So, winner and still Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. And let's just say I just lost a lot of respect for Becky, especially after what she said about Big E.
Right there with you. Right there with you.
Especially, she actually had the nerve and the gall to call him a scumbag. Really?
They've turned all our heroes heels. They turned the New Day heel. They turned John Cena heel. They turned Becky heel. They turned Seth heel. All of these folks were favorites of ours, and they turned them heel. I can't tell you how much I hate that.
Yeah. Well,
it breaks my damn heart, man.
Well, but the thing is, of course,
I hate it even more than anybody.
Yeah, but the thing is, when it came to the John Cena thing, people have been clamoring for it for years and
absolutely
years, and now they finally got it. So that's the only difference when it comes to the others.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. All those other guys you mentioned, they've been heel before.
Yes, they have.
While the WWE Universe, they've been clamoring for years to turn John Cena heel.
Most definitely.
And they finally did it. So there's really nothing more to say. Becky retained, so let's move on to the second of our 3 big title matches.
The WWE Women's Championship on the line. The champion, Tiffany Stratton, defending against WWE Hall of Famer and multi-time former women's champion in her own right, Trish Stratus. Oh boy. Oh boy. What a match we got here.
And I'm going to continue to say this, Florio. I mean, Trish may be in her 40s, but she looks damn good
She's
for
49.
Are you sure she's 49? Because she doesn't look a bit like she's 49.
She looks more like 29 or even 39, but no.
I mean,
She's 49 and in December she turns the big 50.
yeah, and I'll tell you, she can still get it done in the ring at her age.
Absolutely.
And I think she's really going to give Tiffany Stratton all she can handle. But I think
Most
at the
definitely.
end of the day, I think Tiffany Stratton wins and retains the title. But here's the thing, Florio. Keep an eye on Naomi and that Money in the Bank briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could be the ultimate wild card in this one.
That is the wild card.
Yes. Or here, and here's the other thing, and here's another thing I would do. And, I mean, I know this is a long shot, but I would say, I mean, maybe Trish wins the title, and then Naomi comes and cash in, and then wins the title. I mean, if you
Could
want to
happen.
continue to build heat on her, what better way than to take the title from a Hall of Famer via a cheap shot?
That could, and let's also keep in mind that same thing could happen on Saturday night's main event. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that's something I would do, but
If
like I said, it's a long shot. But
if Bill Goldberg defeats Gunther for that World Heavyweight Championship, and then Seth cashes in on him and steals the title, heist of the century too.
could
So
be. But like I said, it's a long shot, so I'm
it
going with
is
Tiffany Stratton to retain. So it's yours, Florio.
definitely. Tiffany Stratton definitely retains. There is absolutely no way she loses the title to Trish Stratus. I mean, the 16/17-year-old me that fell in love with Trish Stratus when I first saw her on my television screen on that Sunday Night Heat in March of 2000 when she scouted Test and Albert. I mean, that 16 to 17-year-old Anthony Florio would love to see Trish get one more title run. That's a personal preference from me. Being and you know how much I love Trish, but like MF damn sure knows how much I love Trish. But as much as I would love to see it for me personally, I got to be realistic and professional. There's no way Tiffy time is not up just yet. So the winner and still the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, and now we're going to move on to the match that I believe, with all due respect, should be the main event of this pay per view. For the Women's World Championship, the champion, Io Sky, defending against Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley has never beaten Io Sky. And I would not be surprised if Rhea wins the title back here. Everybody celebrates, and that sets up Rhea defending the title at SummerSlam to get her on that card. Maybe she fights Asuka, or maybe someone else steps up. But I don't think they're doing Asuka versus Io anymore as the SummerSlam match now that this match was announced. This match will be amazing, as they tend to deliver. Remember, the two of them, Rhea and Io, along with Bianca Belair, gave us one of the greatest, if not the greatest, women's match in WrestleMania history. They tend to deliver, but I feel like WWE is banking a little too much on the idea that people will think this is an epic, can't miss, never fail feud, and that they just want to see the match. And that there isn't enough of an interesting hook of a storyline for my preference. But the thing is, I believe this is going to steal the dang show. And I believe that the winner, and once again, the women's world champion, it's Rhea Ripley. My gut is telling me to go with Rhea to win the title. But my heart is also telling me to go with Io. And maybe they still get to Io and Asuka. at SummerSlam. I mean, I know MF was clamoring for it, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. Right, and this is another one. This is literally another toss of the coin here. But I got to go with my gut. My gut tells me Rhea's getting the title here. And it's all because of and don't forget that video package that we saw this past Monday night on Raw. That top-notch production video. Very well done by the production team. You do it, and what did they highlight? And what was the main focal point of that video? That video set up Rhea's history with Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley has never defeated Io Sky, whether it be in WWE or going back to their days in NXT. As much as I would love to see Io's run continue, I really would. Based on this main focal point alone, I have to say that the winner, and once again, the women's world champion, it's Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea will finally get that elusive win over Io Sky and get that Io monkey off her back. So, winner and new / once again women's world champion Rhea Bloody Ripley, and Mommy will be back on top. Take us home, Bullock.
Yeah, and let's not forget another thing too. And Fletch mentioned this a while ago, leading up to the match at WrestleMania. There are some people who don't want Rhea Ripley to hold that championship again because, I mean, she's already had the belt twice. So, and Io Sky has become so popular. So, I mean, I don't know for it. I'm just so torn. I'm thinking about what Fletch said earlier this year. But, and what did you say the record for Rhea was against Io?
Ofer. She's never beaten. She's never beaten Io Sky in NXT or in WWE.
And and so after you brought that up, especially since this is a one-on-one match, I have to go with Rhea Ripley to become the new women's world champion. I know there's probably going to be some fans who saying, "Why do you have to end this run for Io? She's been, don't get me wrong, she's been a really great champion. And would I be surprised if she retains? No, I wouldn't. But the key thing, she's over against Io Sky, and it's high time that she finally gets that win. So the winner and new women's world champion, Mommy Rhea Ripley. With that being said, Florio, let's set up the future content.
All right, and now we'll put the bow on this special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN, our previews of NXT Great American Bash and WWE Evolution. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you again tomorrow night, back at our traditional time of 10:30 tomorrow night, hopefully on MF's channel Brace Fan 95 for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We've got TNA Impact, we've got Friday Night SmackDown, and time permitting, maybe MF will get a Big Three report from MF because the Big Three is back in action this week after taking last weekend off for the 4th of July festivities. So maybe we'll have, if there's time permitting, MF can hit us with the latest happenings of the Big Three on tomorrow night. And then Sunday night, we got a loaded show. Sometime following Evolution, we got a loaded edition of Talking Wrestling TXN that MF will have. And we're going to get into NXT Great American Bash, Saturday night's main event, and Evolution. All of that on Sunday night. And then, of course, Tuesday night, we do it all over again, Ridiculously Raw, as we will officially kickstart the road to SummerSlam. And all the fallout from Saturday night's main event and Evolution as part of Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, NXT with their fallout from the Great American Bash. And then next Thursday night, we will be back with TXN Sports World as we will have our recaps of the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby, Major League Baseball All-Star Game. And then and then of course we'll get into the SB Awards, and then MF will set the table for the following week of the Big Three. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, back at our traditional start time at 10:30. Now that SmackDown's back to 2 hours. This is Anthony Florio here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And of course, always and forever, our first lady, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night, for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you have been watching this special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN, our preview of NXT Great American Bash and WWE Evolution, right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.